All right, I'm back with David Azizi from the law offices of David Azizi, and we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart in this video. This is something I suggested to him today, and it's something I think everybody that is into fitness wants to know. A lot of people into fitness will hire a trainer, or they will go to a class, or they'll go to yoga, or they'll go to, there's a new thing called bar fitness out there, and CrossFit is really big in the United States, and CrossFit is a just intense training where you do crazy things, climbing ropes, swinging around, heavy weight training, stuff like that. And I wanted to ask David, if somebody gets hurt, extremely hurt, and a lot of cases there are, when you, in CrossFit and some of these fitness cases, you get hurt badly. It's not just a break of the arm. It's not, you might lose muscle. I mean, you might lose your arm because of some of this stuff. So, David, can a client sue a negligent CrossFit or personal trainer that is just using, bad reasoning?
Fair enough. That's a good question. I guess to start out, the answer to that is it depends on if there's a release involved in the case or not. And in my experience, having handled these particular type of cases, I would say in this day and age, every particular trainer or studio or gym that does provide this type of service almost always now has a release. And in most of those releases, assuming, and by the way, for everybody that's listening on this, it's a case by case. So everybody, if they get injured, unfortunately, as a result of an incident involving a trainer or a gym, they need to consult an attorney because every fact is different, every variable makes a difference in the case. So it's just a general overview of what to expect. Having said that, and putting my release on the line, you have to look to see what the release states. In a lot of these releases, they specifically say that they are not going to be held accountable for any negligence that they had in terms of training you or any equipments that negligently failed, that they didn't maintain properly, that caused you injury. And the other thing about the release is that the courts have said that it's got to be conspicuous, it's got to be in the first page, it's got to be bolded, so that whoever is signing that contract with the gym or the trainer is knowledgeable and aware of the fact that if they end up getting injured as a result of the trainer's negligence or the facility's negligence, that they're not going to be able to sue that facility. The exception that the courts have come about is that if either the trainer or the gym acts in anything that is counted as gross negligence, then that takes you out of the release, because the courts have said you cannot waive your liability for gross negligence. You can do it for mere negligence, but not gross negligence. And most people are like, well, what's the difference between gross versus mere negligence? Well, the definition of gross negligence is gross negligence is the lack of any care or any extreme departure from what a reasonably careful person would do in the same situation to prevent harm to oneself or to others. So in essence, what that means is, if in the sport of CrossFit, most trainers would not have their trainees climb a rope more than 10 feet high, because then they have to come back down, or if they were to fall down, they would injure themselves. But you got a trainer who has their people go up 30 feet or 25 feet, so something of extreme, out of the ordinary of what a prudent person would do. And in that scenario, somebody injured themselves, then you can allege and state that this trainer acted in gross negligence by having people go up 30 feet. And a lot of times there's other factors that come in and a lot of variables. For example, you may be able to have people go up 30 feet, but if you don't have any padding underneath, if they fall, or any cushioning, then you could argue, well, that was gross negligence by not having any padding. So if the guy had no padding whatsoever and you plumb